I feel like there's like three different people. Like I have me, who's just going. That's the one who's watching YouTube, watching Netflix. Then we got Lemonade, who's on the mic, and then I feel like the second I get off a stage, I'm back to being me.
There was so many people there that were there to be there for you, and you also had Lemonade there, so that's always good because I love some lemonade and some organic lemonade. So that was really, really great. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. Y'all now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I got a special guest in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, my name is Lemonade Dream. I'm a 15-year-old poet and a 15-year-old artist, and I am so happy to be here.
Appreciate you. So what was your childhood like, coming up, Miss Poet and all that?
My childhood was a very amazing one. I had my family with me. I was constantly around them, whether it was just being in the house with my mom. I was always underneath my mom. I love my mom so much. But yeah, and then sometimes I'd be around my cousins. Sometimes I'd be around my aunties and uncles, getting on their very last nerve. And life was great. I would enjoy like subjects like science and stuff like that. I'm not really into it that much now, but when I was younger, that used to be my favorite thing. I used to want to be a scientist when I was younger, and I thought that was so cool. And like, I used to want to learn the periodic table just so that when I finally got to chemistry, I would know it. So I would say I deeply enjoyed science as well. So yeah.
That's what's up. See, me and science, we was cool, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Periodic table, I guess. Atoms, I guess. But that wasn't really me. I think it was more like reading and writing and social studies for me. A historian, per se. Me and math was not good. I just didn't like math. Can add money. But when it came to angles and stuff, geometry. No. Not me. So, in addition to that, did you have like any hobbies that you like, clubs, hobbies, things that you found yourself in at school?
I remember being little and there was this program with running, and I absolutely hate running. So I ended up being in it for 4 years. Not really sure how that ended up happening. My mom's in the room. I would like to let it be known that I'm side-eyeing her right now, and that running was not very fun, but I met a lot of cool people there. It was a very nice experience, and I still have some of the medals. So that's cool.
Oh, that's what's up. So you're a track star. I mean, you got medals, so I'm assuming.
I'll run while I gasp for air. Yes.
Run while you gasp. That's crazy. That's outrageous. That's a criminal offensive side eye right there. That is crazy. I've never heard that. That's interesting. Okay, so with that, I guess, did that install some type of like discipline though, in a sense?
I remember it was called Girls on the Run, and my mom would film, and she would tell me and my best friend, she'd be like, this is Girls on the Run, not Girls on the Walk. And so every time she would turn her head and take that record button off, I would start walking again, so I would not say yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. So in addition to that, like, was there anything else that you found like yourself interested in outside of that, or?
As I got older, back to what you were saying, social studies and learning about like different places in the world and stuff. I really did like writing my whole life. I would say that, and never was a fan of math ever. But when I did get to multiplication, I kind of did enjoy that. And hobbies, I really loved like YouTube. So like I wanted to be a YouTuber ever since I was little. And no matter what my current interest was, maybe it was like watching people play with dolls and stuff, I'd be walking around the house and I'd like make my own little videos. I remember one day I was like going through my iPad and I saw this video. It's actually my mom's iPad. I was going through my mom's iPad and I saw this video of me eating chili ramen and just being convinced that I was a mukbanger. So yes, that's always been a hobby, was YouTube. But I never really posted on there until Lemonade Dream came about.
Got you. Chili ramen. Yeah.
So good.
I don't know. Maybe I ain't really tried enough to sit there and say it's so good. It's all right. What they say, mid. It may be mid to me, I don't know, but I got you. So then in that transition, right, you said Lemonade Dream, right? So how did the name come about, I guess? What sparked interest around that?
Lemonade Dream happened to come about when I was around 8 or 9, and I was like, I saw like kids like just getting these lemonade stands and stuff, and I was like, dang, this is cool. Lemonade stand, because I've heard about like kids having lemonade stands since I was little, but then I seen them like actually doing it, and it wasn't just a TV thing. I was like, wow. And then I see them like have like the little tip jars and stuff. I'm like, this is really cool. I want to be an entrepreneur. So I started figuring out what an entrepreneur was. I did some research on the word, and I'm just like, this is awesome. And I'm telling my mom, and I'm like, hey, this is what I want to be. And then I started making recipes for some juices and stuff. And like, she was like, okay, well, we can make an account now. And then I had Lemonade Dream as the account. And I've never made lemonade a day in my life. So we could say that never really happened. But then when I started poetry, my mom was like, hey, we have this title right now. This is the same Instagram account. I never deleted it. So it's still here if you want to use it. And if you want to change the name, we can. But Lemonade Dream stayed Lemonade Dream. So
Got you. So that introduction to poetry, right? I think, as a creative, I think it's really cool. Poetry, being able to write and things like that. What was that process for you? Like, maybe your first poem that you wrote, or like that introduction to it for you.
back in school, actually, I was at this school. I've been at this school since I was 3, but I was at this school, and they had this program called DC Scores, and I was like, Mom, I don't want to do DC Scores. But she was like, you're going. And I'm glad she did, because that's how Lemonade Dream became Lemonade Dream. And with that, I ended up writing poetry. It had poetry and soccer, the program. And I had written my first poem there. And it wasn't just like one of the ones you read in school. And like, it's no real interest inside of those poems, I feel like. It's like they just say, hey, we're going to read these poems right here, and that's going to be it. Like, I actually was able to make my own poem. And I wrote it. I didn't really get deeply into it, but when I did, I loved poetry. And I think that's where my love for poetry came from, was being able to write my own poem, tell my own story.
For sure. And like I said, I've had the pleasure and honor of seeing your poetry and you just being able to perform. And I'm like, hold up. You saying all this at this age? Wait, hold on. That's so heavy. And being able to perform it the way that you do, how were you able to like elevate from the art? Like, it could be this piece and then it's this piece. So like when people are seeing you on the stage, like, is there like a creative selective process? You're like, okay, I'm going to go with this poem, this poem, this poem, or how is that for you? Because I think as a creative, it can be hard sometimes where it's like, ooh, I wrote like maybe 8, 9 pieces and I want to perform all 9 of them, but I may not have the time. They'd be like, man, you know what? You got like 5 minutes to do what you do. So, like, how's that for you?
I actually have quite short pieces. So when it comes to that, I always, my mom like runs like the whole managing process of it, as well as my social media. But I do also do my own part on that as well. But when it comes to that, like, I was like, Mom, is there a theme? Mom, is there a theme? Mom, is there a theme? She's like, there's no theme. This is the event. And I was like, okay, let's see. And I'll say, okay, well, like, it was like something to do with the Not One event. And I was like, okay, well, I can use this piece, gun violence. Okay, then I'm going down the list of all my gun violence pieces. Now I'm going through teenagers, and like I kind of specify it more. And sometimes even like the day of, I'll randomly be like, this is the piece that needs to be heard tonight. So maybe I'll switch out one of the pieces. Maybe I'll just say, you know what? I'm going to just cut these pieces and put this one instead. And it's just like whatever feels is needed, I feel like.
Yeah. And I feel like every time that I've witnessed a show, it feels like more and more that piece resonates with like the audience, or it's just like, yo, I've been going through it and this is what it is. So do you also view you performing as like therapy too, in a sense, or? it's just like, nah, it's just me performing and this just is me?
I feel like being the audience is a therapy. I feel like being on stage is like nerve wracking. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's people looking at me. I'm gonna just look at this bright light. Hopefully I can't see anybody. But then when you get off the stage and you're allowed to be inside the audience again, you're not worried about making sure your piece is memorized. Like, you're able to feel everybody else's words. It's amazing because I'm able to, like, those pieces that you're like, oh wow, I was feeling that. You're like, wow, I was also feeling that way too. I said something about it in my piece, but like being able to actually hear it without just hearing it come out my mouth is different. Like, it's like amazing to submerge yourself in such artistry. I feel like it's beautiful.
I'm loving all the words you're using. Yeah, submerge and artistry, definitely heavy, for sure. And I think that, it is dope because, like, even as a creative, from one creative to another, I'm definitely respecting that and I honor that because I'm like, yo, my pen a little all right. Now I'm saying, now I just heard yours. It's like, hold up, I need to go back to the lab. I need to get myself together. Hold on. But those spaces, I think, from open mics and things like that. So for you to network in the space, how powerful is networking for you and like the mentorship and everything like that? Because when people are seeing you, they don't even know what they're getting. Like, it's just a treat that they getting, right? So like, how is that for you? Going from these places, performing, networking, what does that look like for you?
So, crazy part about it all is I'm actually quite socially awkward if I don't really know you. So I will say that to start things off. But when I get to know these people and I like hear something, I was like, your piece was really good. And like, it's like an immediate bond formed in my mind. Like, I'm not able to like go up to you and say it, but once I'm able to finally say something to you, I feel comfortable in a sense. Like, I remember it was this one lady, she had performed, we were in Queens, and I was like, her piece was so good, she's so funny, I wonder if she's an Aries. Like, I'm just like going through my mind, I'm like, she's so cool. And then like I finally spoke to her, I was like, she was like, excuse me, like, because I was like in her way, and I was like, hi, you were so good. And then she ended up talking to me back, and I was like, wait, that's super cool. Like, she's actually enjoying our conversation. Like, this was awesome. And then I followed her, and she followed me back, and life was great.
So you've been socially awkward and networking, right? You sat there and said you can go up to somebody, and then what?
It's like I could just like get this bond in my head, but like when it actually comes to speaking to them, I'm immediately like, okay, I'm gonna walk up to them and I'm gonna say this, and then they look at me and I'm like, whoa. But then like I'm able to finally start talking sometimes, and I'm like, I'm so glad I spoke to you. I followed you on Instagram. Wow, you followed me back? That's really cool. Wow, now we're DMing. Wow, now I know you. This is awesome. Like, I feel like fangirling sometimes is like so awesome too, because like some people, like, I'm not gonna say I'm like famous whatsoever, but like when I remember it was this one little girl, she was so nice. She walked up to me, she's like, you're so cool. And like I had like the biggest grin on my face. I felt so happy, because not because a little girl said I was cool, but because she heard my poetry and she was like, wow. Like I just, like, it was so amazing seeing like a light just like shine in her. Like, it was so cool. So yeah.
Now that's dope, because then you realize, like, okay, even as an artist like myself, I'm glad you said that, right? It's like, I'm not famous. I'm just somebody that just does the art or whatever, right? But the fact that you leave with some inspiration, somebody feels motivated or inspired by your piece, like, I'm pretty sure that makes you feel like, yeah, like, but then as you continue to, sharpen your craft and everything, now you kind of have arrived. I believe that the first time I saw you, I knew you arrived, right? And then some people are like, okay, well, I never heard. But now it's like, yeah, you're confidently walking into that space. And I can say, like, show by show, you're getting better and better and better. And I'm not saying that just because I know you. I'm just saying when you put it all together, like, you're giving your best. And I want to commend you and salute you, because I had the luxury of also attending your open mic. So how was that really? And like, what was that creative process for you? Because I'm like, hold up, wait, she's a teenager throwing her own open mic. Like, hold up, that's a big deal. So how did you feel about that? And did you feel like it was it was time for you to just throw my own show?
I feel like I had seen some other kids. Like, I personally, like, my friends, they also do poetry, and they had their own open mic. I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. Like, imagine hosting your own open mic. And I was like, wow, hosting sounds really cool, but I'm terrified of hosting because you actually have to be funny. And I was like, but then I did it, and I was like, wow. Like, it was like, okay, I'm going to have my own open mic. Okay, it's going to happen. But then it actually was like happening. We were setting things up. People started coming in. People were like just like enjoying the show. I could like look around and see the crowd, and it was like an amazing experience. I feel like being able to be rewarded with not exactly having my own open mic, but to see the people there, to see the people happy, to see the work being done, to see all the work that has been done, like how it turned out. Like, it was really awesome. And then I remember getting in the car after everything was like placed inside, and I'm just like, I was able to like just like let out that air in my lungs and just say, it's done. It's happened. I've curated my own event. That was amazing. People came out, people performed. Like, it was really awesome. Yeah.
For sure. I think that is definitely, like I said, once again, I'm going to just give that a round of applause because, like I said, for me, I think it's hard to do. A lot of people just look at the artist as in like, boom, I'm going to get on the stage and I'm going to just do my thing. I not only do that, but I curated my own event. That's a big deal. And that's a win in the community, especially, here in the DMV and everything like that. It's kind of hard to put events together that are successful. And you had a range and you had legends in the building. You know what I'm saying? You had Truth the Poet. You know what I'm saying? I had the luxury, Kofa. It was so many people there that were there to be there for you. And you also had Lemonade there. So that's always good because, I love some lemonade and some organic lemonade. So that was really great as well. And just from the decorations and the atmosphere, like you created a whole experience. So, Creative Suitland, like, yes, that was definitely a win.
I couldn't do without my support. For
sure. And I love how you're constantly finding ways to grow with your art, right? Because like I said, even after that, being a feature at Bus Boys, seeing you for that, being spotlighted, shout outs to Malpractice, that's my guy. To see that as well and you to also receive your flowers there, that's also dope as well. So as you go to these places, like, and you creating the art that you do, like, how do you remain in like the student mode? Because I think that's the hard thing, right? You're a creative and you're like, ooh, but then it's like, I want to. So like, how do you remain in student mode throughout it all?
I feel like there's like 3 different people. Like, I have me, who's just going, that's the one who's watching YouTube, watching Netflix. Then we got Lemonade, who's on the mic. And then I feel like the second I get off a stage, I'm back to being me, but like also learning. I feel like you're constantly in a process of learning. I feel like there's no person that knows it all. So like, I feel like people are like, oh, they the GOAT, they know everything. Like, no, like I feel like there's constantly something more you can learn because there's always a teacher to that teacher. And I just hope that one day I could be a teacher, but we're all learning. So, yeah, I feel like there's always room for growth because if you think you don't need any more water to grow your plant, you're never going to grow again. You're just going to sit there in that same state. So I just always keep my mind open, always keep my ears open, and always listen and always talk to people.
I like how you just put, photosynthesis in there real quick because I peeped that, the water to grow. I like that. That was a bar. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You came through dropping some bars. That's good. So even with that, right, in the space, you're doing these shows, shout out to your mom. She's definitely doing a phenomenal job, managing you, mentoring you through this process, telling you the things that you need to hear, telling you the things that you want to hear, always reminding you of the reason why you're doing this and the assignment. And it's coming from a place of love, right? And me seeing it as well is coming from a place of love because, like I said, like it's so many things that you can be doing, right? And you're always finding ways to get better in every capacity. It got to the point where I was on YouTube and I'm like, hold up. Know what I'm saying? You got a music video? Like, hold up. I thought you just do poetry. Now all of a sudden you got a music video. So like, how did that come out? Like, what was that like? Because I'm like, I'm used to, of course the poetry, but now you got the music? What's up with that?
So I entered a contest and I ended up winning it. I won Art to Go-Go, the 2024 champ. Cool title. I've never actually said that.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Okay, title.
Yeah. I won that, and one of the, I would say, rewards, we got cash, we got a trophy, but we also got a session with the Experience Abandoned Show, and with that, I ended up being able to make a song with them, and it was really cool. My mom was like, well, of course we're gonna do a music video. If we are your first song, yeah, that's happening. So I ended up being at Union Station, Chinatown, and also back in my old neighborhood, which was really cool. And I got some friends, and we got this videographer, and everything went out amazing. Turned out awesome.
For sure. And like I said, like I think that it's kind of cool because, as you are in the video and like I said, you're doing your thing, you're actually breaking down DC and, putting your own history and putting your own spin on it too, because everybody knows it, Chocolate City for it to have, the chicken wings, the mumbo sauce, the half and half and all that stuff. So for you to talk about that and for people to see that, I think that's also dope and, paving it forward. So yeah, I was like, okay, now she got a music video. All right, maybe an album on the way. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But, with that being said, it was just like, it was a lot. So I'm like, okay, constantly evolving. So as you kind of sit back and reflect, like, what is the self-care for you? Because you're always, either performing, busy, working on the next thing. What is the self-care like for Lemonade Dream?
Lemonade's life is going to school. Then after she leaves school, she does her homework. Then after she does her homework, then she practices her poetry, makes it like a set list. Then after that, that's all Alex's time. I'm able to be me, and that's the freedom in it all. So what I do in my spare time, I'm on Netflix. I'm on any type of show I'm looking at. I'm watching YouTube. I love YouTube. This morning I was watching like 3 of my favorite YouTubers while I'm getting ready. Like I just brush my teeth, watch them. I'm eating food, watching them, and it's always just inspiration. I feel like I'm always looking for inspiration. Self-care, I love getting a good scrub. So like if I go to Target or something, I'll get a nice little exfoliating scrub, and like that's my time to myself. It's just enjoying like little things like that. I feel like is awesome. I love the word awesome today. So yes.
Yeah, you should be, because you are awesome. You know what I'm saying? You are awesome. So yeah, I think it's definitely important because like I said, you're doing a lot, and like I said, the best is yet to come for you. So for the people that want to kind of do the things that you want to do, right? This notion of entrepreneurship, this notion of poetry, or just like finding a purpose or unlocking their gift, like what advice would you give them?
Don't be scared. I feel like some people are like, wow, like I've had people come to me and be like, wow, I never was able to do this, or wow, I wish I was doing stuff like this when I was your age, or wow. I've had some people tell me that like their parents don't support them the way mine do, and I'm just like, that's a thing? And I didn't realize that I was taking not exactly my mother for granted, but my situation for granted. I didn't realize how privileged I was to have such an amazing mother, such an amazing momager, be able to do that for me. And I just want to give her flowers for that, because that is wonderful. And yeah, I feel like if you're scared, Don't be scared because you weren't able to do it in the past. Don't be scared because you're scared of somebody's reaction. I think you should do it because once you've already done it, you can't say you haven't. You can't say, oh, I'm scared to get on stage. And I mean, it's fine to be scared to get on stage, but you can't say, I'm scared to get on stage. I've never done that before, because you already have been on stage. Now, the next thing to do is just get back on that stage. Keep doing that. Keep cultivating your craft. Keep perfecting you as a person, you as an artist, and just do it.
Nah, for sure. You just inspired me. I like that. See, I always get some motivation and inspiration every time we sit there and link up and have a conversation, because you was sitting there. I remember the last time you were like, yo, that song was fire. You need to go back and you need to go ahead and write some more, or this, that, and the third. So I was just like, hey. And I did write some more. I got some stuff on the way. I ain't going to talk about it, but yeah, got some stuff on the way. So, yeah, for sure. So, like I said, I appreciate this conversation and the light that you are. I would just say keep dreaming, keep working, keep doing your thing. And I'm excited to see what 2025 has for you, future endeavors. I got some things that I feel like I know you probably will be a part of and things like that. And I see bigger platforms and bigger stages for you.
Thank you.
You just scratching the surface, or you just, how they sit there and say like it's a puddle of water, you just getting your feet wet. You just started. So for sure. Is there anything else that you would like to let the people know about Lemonade Dream?
I would like to let them know that Lemonade_Dream is my social media platform, like my social media name on everything. So if you would like to stay updated and know what Lemonade Dream's doing, go ahead and follow that.
Nah, for sure. And you already know, the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. And we out. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Love.